Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Destiny Godly here. Welcome back to my channel where I do makeup for everybody with a focus on people of color. Today's video is going to be all about how to apply bronzer. I'm going to use about 2 or 3 different types of bronzers and teach you guys a whole bunch of different techniques. So if you want to learn how to achieve this face, all you got to do is stay tuned. Alright guys, so to start this tutorial out, I went in with my Dermablend Hydrablur primer. I really like this and I haven't used it in a long time. It works great under all foundations that I've tried it with. Really great primer. Amongst all my primers, it's one of my favorite, but you guys know that I love a blurring primer. Loreal, NYX, Makeup Forever matte primer is a little bit blurring. I love the Farsali Skin Tune Blur. I love a blur. So after the primer, I went in with a new favorite foundation. It hasn't quite taken the place of Lancome yet, but it is working on it. And I went in with the Estee Lauder Double Wear and 7W1 Deep Spice. And I absolutely love this because quite a few of you guys have made a recommendation that I try it. Anytime you guys make a really strong recommendation, I end up loving it. Speaking of recommendations, you guys recommended that I try Prime Beauty bronzers and I contacted them and we are in cahoots to do a review, and I will be doing a review on those bronzers very soon. I wanted to get this video out because bronzer is a hot topic right now and so many people seem confused on how to use them and what they're used for. So I said, let me go ahead and pull up and let you guys know. So after going in with that foundation all over my face using a Smashbox brush, and I'll have all the brushes used in the bottom bar below, I went in with a little bit of Smashbox concealer, and the concealer that I used is medium dark warm olive. I've been using this non-stop. I do have a favorites video coming up and this will definitely be on the video. It would be all up and through the video. And I did apply that concealer with GemBlender. If you're not familiar with GemBlender, it is my company. Those are handmade silicone makeup applicators, and I will have more information in the bottom bar if you're interested in checking them out. So very simple, very straightforward foundation routine. After doing my concealer, I went in and I set my face, also using a GemBlender, and I set my face using some Dermablend. I absolutely love Dermablend powder. I feel like it is the setting powder. All other setting powders have to live up to Dermablend in my book. And the color that I used is Warm Saffron, and I absolutely love this because before Warm Saffron, I would take banana and mix it with like a topaz kind of color. And I feel like Warm Saffron is just right in the middle. It's perfect. Okay, so once my complexion was pretty much done, aside from contour and bronzer and all that good stuff, I began the bronzing process. Now, first, I'm showing you guys how to work with a matte bronzer. So I did use my Bobbi Brown powder in Espresso, and even though this is not a bronzer, it is a matte, flat powder that's darker than my skin and it's warm. In my theory, in my thought, in my opinion, I feel like bronzers should be warm. I mean, obviously there are going to be cool tone bronzers, but for my skin tone in particular, I really like a warm bronzer. So I did go in with the Bobbi powder. And the thing that makes this bronzer and not a contour is that contour is a little bit more precise. It's a little bit more directive, where bronzer is going to look a little bit more natural. It's going to be blended out a little bit more. That's why you see me going high up on my cheeks, blending it out with a really fluffy brush. So I used that first, and then after doing my initial bronze, I did go in with some NYX powder, also an Espresso, and I used that a little bit more precisely, a little bit more directive, a little bit on the tips of the brush and in more of a precise area. As you can see, I have my contour and then I have this bloom of color that grows up my face, and that is just to give everything dimension and to kind of give that bronzer some roots. Just like when I blend out a smoky color on the bottom of my eye and then I go in with a dark liner to give it roots, it just gives it a more grounded, solid look, kind of like lip liner, kind of like any liner. So after going in with my contour, I did go in with another bronzer kind of technique, and this is kind of to give your face some luminance, give your face a glow. This is more of the glowy J-Lo glow kind of bronzer. Now this is a really great technique for oily skin in particular, because I did my foundation, I did my primer, I did my foundation, and I set it. And then I went in with some of the Sephora Micro Smooth powder, and the color that I use in this is Deep 56. The reason you don't want to set your makeup with a shimmery powder if you have oily skin is because once that oily skin breaks through and gets that shimmery powder, you're gonna be a mess. So you really want a setting powder to be the boundary between your oily skin and that shimmery powder. This powder is not shimmery per se, but it's definitely illuminating, and it definitely gives your skin a glow. It definitely has reflective qualities, and I think that's beautiful, especially in the summer. My face is stabilized, my face does have matte properties, but I still am reflecting light. It's summer, it's warm, it's hot, you're gonna sweat, you wanna look healthy. Like, can you imagine being out somewhere in the dead of summer, your whole body's sweating, but your face is just dead? No. So after that, everything looks really great, but I did also wanna show you how to use a darker, deeper bronzer. So I did go in with Ebony from Covergirl, and I used that and I bronzed up my cheek a little bit, and it almost gives somewhat of that burnt blush kind of look without being too harsh, without being too bright red. I really feel like that harsh bright red like brings us back to the 80s, and I want to put on a big feather wig and a dress and all types of crazy stuff, diamonds, dynasty honey. So I really love the Covergirl Queen bronzer for giving me a little bit of that red without being too hot, too neon, too in your face. That is also a bronzer that you can bring up on your forehead. It will give you contour and shape without making it look like your forehead is blushing. That don't work. So after going in with my Ebony bronzer, I did go in and add a highlighter. So you can see the difference between the glowy bronzer effect and then the highlighter. The highlighter that I use is Bobbi Brown in Tawny Glow. If you've been watching my videos as of late, you guys know that I absolutely love this bronzer. You guys know that I absolutely love this highlighter. It disappears into your skin. It just disappears into your skin. So after I was done with my whole face, you guys will see that I went in with two separate sprays. One is the Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day spray. So I used that first to set my makeup, and then I went in with some of that Farsali spray, which I absolutely love. It smells so good. It's the Rose Gold Skin Mist, and it's a 24 karat gold infused hydrating prime and set spray. I did go in and I did two lips. The first lips that I did were a Milani Covet topped by Smashbox 1993. 1993 is a color that if you don't have the lipstick or the gloss, you're gonna wanna go ahead and get that. It's absolutely beautiful. It is a really great kind of taupey nude color, and it's gonna run my whole summer, I can tell. It's gonna be a staple in my collection. After that, I did go in with the Loreal red, and I kind of put that over the brown. This is a really, really pretty red. It's 102 Mattely in Love, and then I topped it with a red from Nagi Cosmetics in Betty Boo. And that's what you see on my lips right now, and I absolutely love the way these liquid lipsticks, I got a little smudge on my teeth. I love how these liquid lipsticks from Nagi wear. Absolutely beautiful, suede matte, very comfortable, not a lot of transfer. The color is bright and it just looks really, really good on my skin tone. So that is pretty much my take on Black Girl Bronzer. I absolutely love all the products that I used here, and I will have them linked in the bottom bar. If you guys have any questions or comments, you can leave them below. If you guys have any more recommendations, fuck my life. If you guys have any more recommendations, feel free to leave those below. You guys always have the best recommendations, and I always appreciate them. As always, guys, give this video a big thumbs up if you learned something. I want to thank you so much for commenting, rating, and subscribing. I'll be in touch, and hopefully you'll do the same. Bye, guys.